All right, let's go with it. Let's roll. When you're ready.
All right, we got 25 seconds.
Thanks, bud.
Autobots, roll out.
No, it's called Autobots Assemble.
Roll out.
Autobots reassemble and then meet up. Make sure you're doing the right thing, and then we will roll out. This is Optimus
5
Omega.
seconds.
That's right. It's the morning show right here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. Enjoying our amazing day, whatever that day is for you. We appreciate you. Thanks for making it a good one with us. We've got many tuning in online and around the world, wherever you are at. We appreciate you. We especially appreciate those that tune in regularly and give us some updated information on anything that's happening around the world at any time and any place. So we say thank you very much. We got Mr. Jesse Sanchez over there. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
So lots of important news. Obviously, I got to ask though, you're excited in the next coming a week or week and a half. What's going on in your world?
Yeah, I'm excited because as soon as I got here at the station, I opened my Facebook and I saw an article that they're releasing Cobra Kai on Netflix a little earlier, and I'm like, okay, well, usually it's like a week or so, but no, next week, next Friday, January 1st, Cobra Kai season 3. Watch it beforehand so you can catch up. It is a great show, especially if you enjoy the 80s Karate Kid, not the new one.
Right. No. Well, here's the thing. I enjoyed the original one. I think it was the first one and a half that I think I enjoyed, right? Because there was nothing like it. And Cobra Kai, I know we had some friends in there, R. Marcos Taylor and a couple others that practice martial arts. And if you could practice any martial art, which would it be, Jesse?
Ooh, I don't know too many martial arts. But I would like to learn. What was it? Krav Maga.
Oh yeah,
like Israeli self-defense or something like that.
Yeah, it's quick and fast, actually.
Yeah, so I think that would be a good one to learn, and then with some more practice, I would like to learn like an actual like, I don't know, maybe like, no, not that one. I can't remember what it sound or what it starts with. It starts with an S. I can't remember what it's called.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know which one it is, but I do know this. We got lots tuning in. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We appreciate you. We got Penelope who says good morning with the little globe emoji. We like that. Stephanie Reed says hello, happy editing this glorious Christmas, and hope you have an awesome and Merry Christmas. Thank you, Stephanie. Appreciate you. Rosalie says good morning. We appreciate you as well. Okay, lots of news. The question of the day is. Sorry, that word slap happy there. Question of the day is what's going on around the world first? Of course, we're wondering in the world, there's the stimulus checks. The House has failed to pass a measure with $2,000 stimulus checks. What Trump's attempt is to upend the stimulus deal means, and the analysis of Trump putting on a show of erratic behavior in the final days. Those are some of the top news locally. Around the world, there's others as well. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to find some interesting information, which is late breaking. We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned. Hey, Jesse, I don't know if I have any guests for today. Because my calendar's off again.
All right, no problem. I'll keep an eye open.
Yeah, I put things in, but did Melissa call in yesterday?
Nobody called.
Yeah, something's off. Once again. Speaking of Autobots, which Transformer was your favorite?
Ooh, didn't we have this one? I gotta go with the Dinobots. I like dinosaurs.
That's right, you said that. But which one? Because there were so many. Hold on, let me bring it back.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. You got Jesse Sanchez. I could tell you guys were hearing. Sorry about that. I don't know how to put us on mute every now and then. But the question was Transformers. I think they need to do some cooler shows with it. What do you think? What's the latest that they have of Transformers, Jesse?
You know what? I don't know. I haven't seen Transformers in a while, and I think what was that last one? The Bumblebee movie?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good. I kind of wish that they would have finished the whole what was it, the one with Mark Wahlberg, where like Unicron comes out of the planet or something like that. They kind of left it like a giant cliffhanger, and they just moved on and forgot about it.
Yeah, well, I felt they put too much in that one. It got a little discombobulated. Like they were like, and it was so fast. You're like, what is going on? They did that with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as well, and
Mhm.
it just didn't quite work. But sometimes they get a little too fancy with the computer graphics, and then you're like, that's a little too much. But other than that, I like the first one, the third one, and which one was the one with the movie?
Which one?
The Last Night.
Mm.
I think that was the one you were just talking about. But I liked it like in the beginning, in the middle, and then in the end, it just lost it.
Yeah, the end kind of just dropped.
What about Transformers: Age of Extinction? That was good. That had the Dinopods in there.
Age of Extinction. I'm trying to remember which one that one was.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of forgettable. So
Yeah, they shouldn't want to be. Imagine if they were real. Wouldn't it be cool? You'd be like, Autobots, assemble.
10 seconds. Yeah, but then we get like the bad thing. I really don't want my toaster or waffle maker attacking me.
Hey, what's wrong with that?
We got 2 seconds.
We got our own fun show here. That's right. It's the morning show right here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We're talking about the latest in film history, of course, of our own decade. Transformers. What's the latest film that you've seen that you really enjoy? We were talking about Transformers, and of course, they've made quite a few there. Total of 5 so far. Bumblebee, of course, being the 6th installment. And the question I have, of course, is where are they going next with that? Because we need some more fun, some more entertainment. I actually did take a drive yesterday to the drive-in, and oddly enough, they were closing early because I forgot it's a weekday. And I wanted to see a couple movies, which they had. One of the ones which we interviewed this weekend. What was it? Monday, actually. I had interviewed a couple weekends ago. And she had, so the movie's at the drive-in, the one that you own now, Jesse, with Matrix 4's actress. Do you remember that? What's the name of that?
Love and Monsters?
Yes, Love and Monsters. What is it? Love and Monsters? Yeah, it sounds about right. Something like that. So go check that out at the drive-in if you can. Get in early, usually right at sundown, and you could go watch a movie in person. And don't worry about the theaters being closed, but what a great way to do that. Pop in some good treats that you have, some good sweets, some popcorn, and then just enjoy the movie, right, Jesse?
Right? I love drive-ins. You can just wear whatever you want, put on some comfy sweatpants, sneak a pizza in your trunk or something like that.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna say sneak that in your pants, that would have been a little.
No.
It's like, where are you going with that, Jesse?
I'm talking about putting in the back of the trunk so they don't see it.
Yeah, exactly. Because you could do that. Just put it all in. They don't check, and it's like, I think it's the one that I go to is about $8.50 or $9 per person, and there you go. All right, let's go to news, which is useful. Post-holiday COVID-19 surge could have a catastrophic impact. That's according to experts. Americans are heading home for the holidays. Health experts are warning of the catastrophic impacts of a potential coronavirus surge that could hit the U.S. if families do not keep their gatherings and traveling to a minimum. Holidays have proven to be a catalyst across the country. Earlier this year, after each summer holiday, the U.S. reported a significant uptick in infections across the country. Experts say Thanksgiving has played a major role in the country's largest viral surge to date. The virus transmission that took place during the Thanksgiving period has brought many health systems across this country to the brink of failure, and we are still not yet finished seeing that impact. That's according to Dr. John Brownstein, who's the Chief Innovation Officer at Boston Children's Hospital and an ABC News contributor. So lots of information coming in from that as well. A total of, since November 26, 2020, 165,906. This was the spike we had talked about a while back. And obviously, I think we're past the point of saying this is no longer real. I believe we're past the point of saying, oh, that's right, we probably should have learned from our past history. And I hope moving forward, we can learn from our past history and move forward. What do you think we should do in the coming months, Jesse?
You mean talk about with COVID and whatnot?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I have no idea what difference we could do now that'll make a difference. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
Everyone's wearing a mask, everyone's washing their hands. What more could we do? Well, not everyone is. You know, there's those crazy people that scream at you.
Scream at you? Describe. What do you mean?
No, you know, like how those people like, there's no such thing as COVID, blah, 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 blah. Like I literally had, when I went, what was it? I went shopping on Sunday or Saturday, I can't remember. And we're standing in line, and there was a guy who forgot his mask. He was like, "Oh, this is just the government, blah blah blah." He goes on this giant rant, and I'm just listening, laughing. I'm like, "Oh my god."
No, I understand that because when you talk about the science of the coronavirus, you got to really figure out the right medication and or vaccine for it, right? And I feel, I had this conversation with my mom very briefly. She said, "Oh my goodness," she had heard of 17 mutations, which they just talked about. We talked about this like a few months ago, right? We talked how easily it is for it to mutate based on that it's a worldwide pandemic. But I would imagine some smart scientists and or biologists can get together and say, okay, what was at the root of this, and how do we get to the root of it, and then unpack it in such a way that it ends up, instead of, basically you either have to learn how to break it down and or instead of breaking it down, get to the root of the problem, right? And if you get to the root of the base, then you could go ahead and convert it into something that actually can help people versus hurting their biology. Because unfortunately, that's exactly what's happening. You breathe it in, and all of a sudden it gets into your nervous system, creates a lot of havoc, creates things that you need to be able to fix. And I'm sure there's somebody with that information that can, get that information out quick and fast, because it's just mutating at an accelerated rate. And you got to ask, why is that happening? So sometimes these conspiracies, I'm always open to hearing some, conspiracy theories, because I hate to call them conspiracy theories. I feel sometimes those are just more reality, but because people don't want you to know the truth, they say, oh, it's a conspiracy, which I think some truth is in every bit of information, which is why I enjoy shows that discuss that. So who knows, maybe in the days ahead we'll give some conspiracy theory fact over fiction. What do you think, Jesse? Is that a good idea or bad idea?
No, it could be a good idea. I would just talk about conspiracy theories. Yeah, I probably won't talk about what my brother wants to talk about. So yeah, that's just a whole giant can of worms.
Yeah. I kind of want to know now. You know what? We'll talk about it after the break, right after these messages. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, let's see here. What does your brother want to talk about? Is that Mike Sanchez?
Yes.
Is that a bad thing or a good thing?
What he wants to talk about? I thought it was debunked, so I don't know what he wants to.
You know what? Then I want to talk about it. Let's see.
I don't know. I don't know that much to talk about it, so I really don't.
Okay, well, let's see anyway. Okay, hey everyone, we appreciate you. So evidently we got Mike Sanchez in the house who watches regularly. I think Mike, you had sent me a message of some sort, and I didn't get to read it. Let's see. It says, "Bring up Pizzagate." I'll say, okay. What's Pizzagate, Jesse?
I don't know. I saw a little like words and like a little paragraph or so about it, but it has something to do with the government and God, I want to say little kids, but I could be wrong. It's just this weird thing. I'm surprised you haven't heard about it.
Nope, never looked at it. Let's see. If I Google it, will it come up?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it was debunked. All a bunch of hearsay.
What is Pizzagate? Fake news scandal. Conspiracy theory thrives anew in the TikTok era. Okay, it was debunked in 2016. Oh, presidential election cycle.
Yeah, all those stuff comes out during presidential elections.
Oh, including the Washington, D.C. police. Ouch. Okay. Members
The U.S. gets crazy the year before an election and the year during an election.
Oh, isn't that how Hitler came into office too?
What?
Well, everybody was really poor.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have elected him before, but because he offered all this hope, he ended up becoming kind of like saving the race or something like that.
20 seconds.
And offering all kinds of things for, select people.
You get free stuff. You get free stuff.
Yeah, like crush it down so deep down so you get somebody in the office that will like become a dictator in the end.
5 seconds.
Is that what we're talking about?
I don't know. Coming back.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show right here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Joining our live stream audience there, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and much, much more. We've got people tuning in like Lucy Sanchez. Good morning. Says, good morning, all. We appreciate you, Lucy. Thank you for doing so. Let's see. We've got Algenia, who says, good morning. Tuning in after my father's cousin, big health issue. They found out after 3 days it was not COVID, but a urinary tract infection. Ouch. Well, that's the good news, right? She says, praise Jah. So, and for those that don't know, that's a shortened form of Jehovah, which some people say, oh, that's not really his name. Yahweh is more appropriate. Or what is it? You have to have the consonants. So there you go. YHWH, and then how do you get that? And that is the Tetragrammaton, which is a very, very old. When Moses said, "What is your name? I am who I." How does it go? How does it go, Jesse? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I am who I am, or who I cause to become. I am the Alpha and the Omega, and I'll become whatever I need to be in order to achieve my purpose, something like that. So when people say Hallelujah, the Jah at the end, Hallel means in Hebrew praise, and Jah means, or a short form of Jehovah, which is an English transliteration of the Tetragrammaton. There you go. There's your Bible knowledge for the day. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. Who knows how I know? No, I know these things, but I don't like to talk about it much because then it creates division and people go, yeah, but I don't really like that guy, or I don't want to talk about that, or I have a different faith. And I say, good, share with me your faith. And I think each and every one of us can learn from one another what they believe their faith is, as long as it pushes people forward and in a happy state of mind. There are some theories and things that get debunked all the time. But I feel there's some truth in every little bit of debunkedness, if that makes any sense. And sometimes that's in theory, sometimes that's in science, sometimes that's in fact over fiction. But it's always better to get the fact out of the fiction, because sometimes there is fiction, but then there's moments of fact. Does that make sense, Jesse?
Yes, it does.
So whenever I ask things, I go, okay, well, that's good. Does it make sense? Is that fact or fiction? And if it is fact, well, then I'll know whether it is or not. If it's fiction, then I'll go, oh, well, then why was that made to look like fact when in reality it was all fiction? And I ask myself that thing all the time. So I just say fact or fiction, fact or fiction, fact or fiction. And then usually you'll get down to the root of it. I like to hear people out and then say, okay, what part of that is real? What part of that doesn't make any sense? Like conspiracy theories. So I think we should bring some conspiracy theories to the fore, like Mike Sanchez, who talks about Pizzagate. And what is Pizzagate? Did you get to check that out, Jesse?
No, I thought you were going to, mainly because it's such a weird topic.
Like, why would you bring it up, brother? You know what? I think he wants to bring it up because he wants to bring up some stuff that. Wait, is this the youngest brother?
Yes, this is my younger brother. He likes to debate, go back and forth on certain things. So I really don't. I love you, bro. I usually don't argue.
He wants to say he's sorry for the what was it? The
No. I'm sorry for sticking you inside the dryer when you were younger, but if
he has apologized many times, I might add.
hopefully when he has kids, they don't do the crazy stuff that we did.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are bored, right? I got Lucy in the house over there. So your mom is like, this is like the Sanchez show. But by the way, I'm not related to this family. But I will say, look, Mike, thank you for forgiving your brother because your brother simply was bored, right? Because I remember we did stuff. I had a family friend. His name was Matthew Martinez. And the stuff he would do to me all the time, like his mom would be like, "Oh, you're so funny. You're so funny." And he'd always do stuff and I'd get in trouble. And then she'd be like, no, that's Matthew. So she'd have to kind of like, he'd get I don't know if he got the whip or if he got like a spanking at the end of the day. Cause we go back way to the day where that was a thing. You know what I mean? And you're like, I don't want to get a spanking. You know, that was a thing. So some things that we used to do when we were younger, thank God we don't do them anymore. And then other times we just kind of let people just do whatever they want. And they end up becoming just, people that don't care about anybody else. And those are the ones you got to go, did you get proper like family training? Which I have to say this, no matter what your family is, at the end of the day, you got to focus on love, right? So like, for example, what a great time to be able to get together during the holidays and or any other time before, it gets to the point where you end up seeing them literally only for like Christmas, right? Because I mean, like, for example, today technically is my birthday. Okay. I don't have anybody really to celebrate it with just yet. I have you guys here online to be able to celebrate for, the next 30 minutes. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that it's my birthday. Not really. What does matter is that it is a future coming of events that I think we can all focus on to push us forward. Does that make sense, Jesse?
Yes, it does.
So I think, although it's cool to check out some of these conspiracy theories, I think at the end of the day, whether our families get along or don't get along, or we do things where we hold certain animosity or certain hate, not that you guys do, but every family has their little issue, right? And sometimes you just have to say, look, can we just agree to disagree? Which I like what your brother said here. He said this as well. I think he says, agreed. I came here to listen and disagree. So it's, you know what? I like that. You'll disagree. And then, feel free to agree every now and then. Right? Am I wrong? Am I right? Or are we all wrong? I don't know, but I know this. We got to take another break. We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned. I'm telling you, things come back. They haunt you. You got to say you're sorry. When's the last time you guys hung out?
I think he was here, him and his wife, girlfriend then. I think 2 years ago.
Okay.
We went they stayed for a while. A week after they left is when I had my first date with Casey.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Where did we go? Oh, we went to Medieval Times.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
That is a great place to go. If anyone hasn't been to Medieval Times, go at least once.
When they're open.
When they're open. Yes.
I've never been able to go.
No?
No. I wanted to take the little one, but his father beat me to it, so I was like, oh well. But he came back happy. He came back we played with the little sword, because he got the Medieval Times sword and then the helmet. Oh man, he loved that. I think he was only 6 at the time.
Nice.
6.5, maybe. Yeah, we were in Whittier, so. But God, he loved just, I mean, he loved it a little too much where sometimes he would like get a little angry because I guess he had, his, things happen. So he got angry. And so he was like, I'm like, whoa. Like, it's one thing to play around with it. It's another thing to, start throwing it down like a medieval knight. Unless, of course, it's a really bad guy, then you can like right through the head, right?
Off with his head.
No,
Yeah.
through the head, right there.
Oh, through the head. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay. No,
yeah.
you went dark there.
Well, sometimes you have to in order to take out the evil in the world, right?
Pretty much.
All right, so don't be evil.
Let's see.
Don't be evil. We can get along.
Exactly. I'm just rolling through the news to see what. It's like every 3 news topics is either Trump or COVID.
I still want to go to this pizza game. I don't know why.
You probably want to do like a lot of research before you do that.
When Clinton campaign manager John Podesta's email was hacked and the messages were published by WikiLeaks, one of the emails, according to the New York Times, was between Podesta and James Alefantes, the owner of DC pizzeria Comet Ping Pong. Okay, the message discussed Alefantes hosting a
15
possible
seconds.
fundraiser for Clinton. Users of the website 4chan began speculating about the links between Comet Ping Pong and the Democratic Party, according to the BBC, with one particularly vile connection burbling to the surface. The pizzeria is the headquarters of a child trafficking ring led by Clinton and Podesta. Oh.
Coming back.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show right here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Joining our live stream audience there, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and everywhere else. I just looked this up. This is very interesting because I've heard some things in the most recent of actually weeks, which actually make me kind of want to ask this question once again. The Pizzagate, which was suggested by Mike Sanchez over there on social media, very interesting question here. He says it all started in November 2016 when Clinton campaign manager John Podesta's email was hacked and the messages were published by WikiLeaks. One of the emails, according to the New York Times, was between Podesta and James Alefantes, the owner of DC pizzeria Comet Ping Pong. I'm telling you, that name already sounds oddly weird, right, Jesse?
Just a bit. I was kind of wondering where you're going with this. So I don't know too much about what you're talking about. So that's why I kind of like wanted to steer away from it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, let me bring it up anyway, because I actually come across information. I was like, I don't know that stuff is real. And then I said, oh, no, I think that stuff is real. The message discussed Alefantes hosting a possible fundraiser for Clinton. Users of the website 4chan began speculating about the links between Comet Ping Pong and the Democratic Party, according to the BBC, with one particularly vile connection burbling to the surface. The pizzeria is the headquarters of a child trafficking ring led by Clinton and Podesta. Now, the conspiracy theory that prominent members of the Democratic Party are somehow involved in a global child trafficking ring took root on far-right conservative websites. According to the BBC, the theory linking this false theory to Comet kicked around 4chan until someone posted a long document with evidence to a now banned alt-right section of Reddit several days before the U.S. election. The alt-right is a fringe group of far-right extremists comprised of white supremacists and old-fashioned racists who share their views in various forms of propaganda online. Now, so you could see one side was like, okay, you guys are wrong, you guys are right, and it's like, well, who's right, who's wrong? Because child trafficking is a very serious thing that's been happening for quite some time. And people always go, well, how do they do it? How does it happen? And why does it happen in the end, right? So I believe whether you believe it or disbelieve it, you have to ask when it does come up, are you doing the right thing for the children, right? So you could either believe it or just not believe it, but it's happening. Question is child trafficking happening? And why is it happening? What kind of thoughts that come into people's mind that say, yeah, this is a great thing to go ahead and do? People and or children at the age of 8 and under, this is terrible. This is the type of thing that if anybody were to discover, you say, okay, well, how do you reverse that? How do you make it right? Because the question at the end of the day is, who benefits from that type of behavior? Seriously, who do you think benefits, Jesse?
Yeah, the only people that benefit from behavior like that are just the crazy people. I can't even imagine the people that do the child trafficking stuff. And yeah, these things never cross my mind until I start reading and watching stuff like this. I'm like, oh my God, how do you even... Yeah, there's just so many questions. And then it makes me like super nervous because, my brothers are having kids, and I'm just like, oh God, now I gotta worry about them too.
Well, we've seen ones where they outwardly, openly, like, somebody goes and they grab a child, right? How many children have gone abducted and missing, here on the earth, where you just say, what happened? And then some get found out years later, some never get found out. And then you wonder about other things that happen in the world, and you go, who is okay with this? And at the same time, I almost ask, I sure hope the angels and God intervene, right? Because this is just a whole nother bag of worms, like you said earlier. It's terrible because it boggles the mind. So if you suspect and or know of a situation like this, be careful, because the people in charge are always very, 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 very deep in it. And usually you got to figure out, okay, how do we make sense of it all? Maybe you got to pray. Maybe you got to say, God, Father, and the entire heavenly nation, we need help down here, because these things are sometimes harder than the average thing to bear. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So with that, we're going to take a quick break. Say a little prayer for the children, seriously, or a big prayer. Say, you know what? I don't know the situation that's happening, but God, man, you cannot let us continue in this way. It just can't happen. What if that was your child? What if that was you at a younger age, and all of a sudden you think, oh, these are your parents? In reality, they're not your parents. How many times does that happen, Jesse?
I don't know. And yeah, that's just a scary thought.
And I think your mom would like take somebody's eyes out if they did that to you, any one of you, right?
Most definitely. I believe she would.
Yeah, I think so too. So Lucy, good job over there. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned. I think in any conspiracy, whether somebody brings it out or not, you have to at least investigate it, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So according to this, how does this involve Comet Ping Pong? The 120-seat restaurant opened in 2006. According to the New York Times, is considered a kid-friendly place with ping pong tables and craft rooms. It's also played host to concerts by local musicians, including the band Fugazi. Comet Ping Pong's owner, James Alefantes. Why does that name ring a bell, Jesse?
I don't know. Sounds. Sounds like I've heard that name before.
Yeah, I know. Is an artist and DC native who was a Clinton supporter but had never met her. Alefantes has prominent friends in the Democratic Party. Tony Podesta, brother of John Podesta, frequents the restaurant. Alefantes was in a relationship with David Brock, the founder of the website Media Matters for America. The Times described Brock as a provocative former right-wing journalist who became an outspoken advocate for Mrs. Clinton. Let's see. Ooh, it boiled into real violence. It's a long article. You know, when there's this amount of facts, you have to say, what is going on? Oh, Pizzagate came roaring back in 2020 when the theory, once associated primarily with the Trump supporters, found a new younger audience on platforms like TikTok. While the theory has spread, it's become less overtly political, morphing to falsely accused celebrities like Ellen DeGeneres and Chrissy Teigen, brands like Wayfair. Oh, that's how that stuff came about. I didn't know what they were talking about. Oh, it says Donald Trump is secretly engineering the downfall of the deep state and its cable of elite pedophiles. Obviously, none of that is at all true.
Yeah, 40 seconds.
That's very interesting. Very interesting.
Well, and then people will yell at you, like, you're crazy for reading stuff like that.
But no, the FBI are involved in it. The FBI identified extreme conspiracy because, let's see, as a domestic terrorist threat. That doesn't make sense. Why would they do that? You have to investigate.
There's a lot to investigate.
Is somebody pulling the FBI strings?
10 seconds. They're just puppets.
Well then.
Coming back.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show right here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM, where we're enjoying speaking with each and every one of you, including our social media chat room over there. We appreciate you. Let's see. We've got Lucy, who says, visiting in Mexico one day, someone tried to snatch my Michael. Thank God I was holding his hand. Excuse me. Wow. Did you know that, Jesse?
I think I did. I think she told me one time, but honestly, if they were to spend time with Michael, they'd give him back. I'm just kidding, bro.
Don't ever say that about Michael. Michael's an archangel. Don't ever say that. So be careful. Let's see. What? Michael is an archangel. It's a name. Okay, sorry. So let's see. Okay, very interesting. Here's another one. It says, forgive and move on to greater love in your life. Forgive, Jesse, but love your brother. Dude, I had 13. I don't know what that means. Okay, so there you go. All right, people, look. Oh, I see. She has 13 brothers over the years, so she understands what that's like. Got it. Okay. So lots of theories, lots of questions. And what I say is, if there's a theory going around and it makes sense, it's, look, are UFOs real, right? There's Atlantis. Did Atlantis happen? I enjoy the show or the program Ancient Aliens. And oftentimes there's certain things that are said that I'm like, I may agree to disagree for now, but maybe it'll make sense eventually if and when I ever meet an alien, right? Wouldn't that be cool? You're the alien race that actually helps mankind. That's what I want, right? The people that actually help mankind or never heard it, but wanted to continue moving on. I feel that's exactly what we need. If there's angel race, if there's alien race, if there's combined DNA race that say, you know what, we know how to help you guys. I think that's the type of race we need to happen, right? Not just one race, which again is why I mention Hitler all the time, because he believed only one race was the ultimate superior race. And you can't think like that, right, Jesse?
Yeah, but you gotta realize, are we ready for these aliens or whatever species to come here? Because honestly, we're freaking out over this virus. All the toilet paper is gone. Just imagine if they show up, all the toilet paper is going to disappear again, and who knows what else.
What if they don't even use toilet paper? They'd be like, we don't use that. That's dumb. No, look, at the end of the day, you're right. Are we ready? I think some are. I think I would be. I'd be like, please come, please save me. But at the same time, I'd say, hey, don't abduct me, right? Don't take me off of this planet. Let's make things happen. Let's make things work. Let's make things move forward versus just constantly burying the truth. Because that's what I see happening all the time. People bury, and more bury. So don't bury the truth. Let the truth at least come out. Fix what is wrong. Make it right, and then move forward, right? If you can come across something just saying, oh yeah, it didn't exist, it doesn't happen, kind of makes you a co-conspirator, and you don't want to be that person. You just want to say, look, I'm going to make it right here, right now. What did I know? What did I not know? And then move forward, whatever it is, right? And then just do the right thing moving forward. Seriously, there's children, there's kids that get to be adults, which actually end up very traumatized and or debilitating. It's debilitating. If you talk to anybody that's ever been abducted or molested or has been at the hands of a pedophile, I can guarantee you right now their future has been already marred in many more ways than one. And if you don't believe me, talk to anybody that actually has either not healed from it and or gotten worse from that, and they will admit to one thing, and this is the common root of denominator whenever you find this out. It does something at an age where it's just not. Some people take issue, oddly enough, because they say, well, back in certain times, we used to be able to procreate at the age of 15, right? The human body, if you take certain cultures and or things like the Jewish nation, for example, right? What is it? The bat mitzvah or what do they call it, Jesse?
Bar mitzvah.
Yeah, the bar mitzvah. I never get it right because I'm not Jewish technically. So my question is, at the end of the day, what's that about? Well, way back in human history, of course, in order to let's combine a couple of theories. Okay, this is kind of interesting. I don't know if anybody's ever thought about this. Let's say, for example, there was a human race all of a sudden that came onto this earth. Okay, whether you believe in the Bible doctrine or any other faith doctrine, there was a human race that began on this earth. Is that? Would you agree with that, Jesse?
I do.
How it came, who knows? Some theorize aliens, ended up bringing the human genome species. Others think it was created. Others think a host of things. Maybe they lived on another planet. They came onto this planet. I know I've entertained all those thoughts. Just go, well, which one is the right one at the right time in the right place, right? But at the end of the day, you say, okay, where does this move forward for people at some point? Does everybody coalesce to say, you know what, let's go ahead and go back to keeping the human race moving forward in the right way as it should, not an artificial way? Like, I'm all for people going into like a virtual reality program. Many people have considered, can you extend your life by putting your life into like a cloud, creating a subsection of yourself while still living on this earth? Do you know that theory still abounds forever and a day because the technology is there for it to actually happen?
Oh no, I no doubt that people want to do some stuff like that. I don't think we're even close to that, are we?
It's called heaven. So it's above, right? Like, and some people think, oh no, it's like a little computer program that you would create. I say, I don't think so. I think heaven is a way of storing our consciousness to be able to continue to move forward. Now, whether you think it's a computer program or not, it's still a version of the afterlife, right? But you want to be put into the right sphere of influence to be able to say, okay, this is the life we want to get into, not the dumbing down version, which is way man thinks. Man thinks like, okay, we're going to create Borg, we're going to create a little computer, we're going to create a little thing which actually assimilates every bit of knowledge. For example, if you or I came up with a computer program that could do that, would that be the right thing or the wrong thing? What do you think?
I'm gonna say the wrong thing.
I would think it would be a combination thing. I don't think it would be necessarily wrong, because I think that's what's happening now. Artificial intelligence, which is what they've been creating and recreating, is a way to say, okay, how can we put our consciousness into somewhere where it can actually make sense? Does that make sense? So that it can stay or live longer. But I think that's like a backup of a backup of a backup, which isn't necessarily the best thing. When we go back to the very beginning of days, when people had faith, the question was, what was the afterlife like? And did they get to spend time in the afterlife? Was there a heavens? Is there a new earth? Where is that at? Or is it a dumbing down version of a program operator which says, okay, I'm going to dictate who has the right to live and who doesn't have the right to live, right? With maybe just their two fingers, because that's all they have now. But my point is, in reality, we just have to continue to move forward as a human species, as even an alien species and or other that could say, look, we can have a great afterlife in the heavens above. I believe that's got to be a thing. And so there you go. Agree to disagree, conspiracy theory or not, I think it's something we should all consider. And at least we should reach out and say, you know what? To the heavens above and beyond, please help me, help my life, help everyone on this earth. So, and surrounding galaxies, right, Jesse?
Oh yeah.
All right, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Any of your comments would help out too. What do you think about that idea of a creator and or a supreme being? We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned. All right, and for those of you tuning in, I appreciate you. Thank you. Let's see what some of the comments are. Holly over there. Hey, Holly, I apologize. I kid you not. Thank you, Holly, for tuning in. I completely missed that interview. All of my calendar, right, Jesse, disappeared.
Oh yeah.
It was the weirdest thing. I think I got hacked, and I think somebody has access to my computer, believe it or not. And I have to put it on a lockdown because somebody, like, everything disappeared. All my everything.
That's not good.
No, it's not. I'm like, who could delete everything and hack it? So if you're a top programmer and you have a great antivirus, because I downloaded one and it saw nothing. And somebody did something into my, they used like really old information to obtain some information. I was able to track it. Let's see. But if anybody has proper information on how to put a lockdown on my computer, that would be great. Thanks, Algenia. She says, enjoy your evening. I have no idea what that means. Do you have plans for the evening, Jesse?
Unfortunately not, because I still have to come into work tomorrow, so I can't stay up super late. But no, just play some video games, enjoy my night.
Virtual reality is fun. But the HTC, I'm still gonna go hands down best program ever.
Yeah.
I don't like handing my information over to Facebook.
30 seconds. I don't know what more information I can tell Facebook.
Yeah, I know, right? I
They already know so much.
You just have to read the details because it's a contract that they make you like. You say, I don't want to read this. You go, I agree, and then you're like,
10 seconds.
what did I agree to? Oh, all of my information, like my body movements on the Oculus being done. So I don't know. I think there's a way around that.
2 seconds, coming back.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show right here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Joining our live stream audience there, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Periscope TV, and much, much more. We appreciate each and every one of you. What's going on in the world? I could tell you. Here's one. Every country has vaccine skeptics. In Russia, doctors are in the ranks. But look, I think there's some truth to this. The reality is, I know I've discussed this with my mom ahead of time. I said, Mom, whenever the first one comes out, please don't take it right away because there's going to be new strains. Be careful. I think it's been rushed. By April or May, I feel at least we'll have like 8 new drugs. 6 of them will probably be really bad because of future elements that will be worse. And 2 of them you're going to want to pay attention to. Which will probably be the latter ones, which will be able to help everybody. But I do feel that you just have to wait a bit more because there's so many new mutations happening. Now, this article says 15,000 people have been vaccinated, according to the Moscow mayor, Sergei Sobyanin. It means, on average, each clinic inoculated about 15 people a day, a fraction of at least 271,000 people from priority groups vaccinated in the U.S. in the first week. News of the first takers of the awaited Pfizer-BioNTech coronavirus vaccine spurred some hope and excitement amid new lockdowns and spiraling infections in much of the U.S. and the U.K. But in Russia, one of the few countries already offering vaccines to a wider segment of the general public, the turnout in the first 2 weeks of large-scale vaccination has been less than enthusiastic. Moscow opened the doors of Russia's first 70 vaccination centers 2 weeks ago, offering healthcare workers and other crucial groups a shot of Russian-developed vaccine Sputnik 5. I think they're actually smart Russians over there, which are going, we don't trust you, right? I mean, anything called Sputnik, I don't know why is that word Sputnik? Because it was the Sputnik. What does that mean, by the way?
Sputnik was the name of the first satellite that was launched into orbit.
Yeah, I remember that, but
what does it actually mean?
Yeah, what's the word mean? Because they've been referring that to other things, which I'm like, okay, the Sputnik, I thought that was Sputnik, but now they're doing that as far as like a vaccine. So what does Sputnik mean?
I don't know. I remember reading this article saying something about how the vaccine in Russia, the Russians would have to limit their consumption of alcohol. I'm like, what? You're telling them not to drink vodka? No, that's not going to happen.
Okay. Yeah, okay. All right. This is odd, but it says here, the Russian word Sputnik, prefix C, pronounced S in English, means with put is path. Nick attaches the word to a person, so Sputnik, the one on the same path with someone. That made no sense to me. In Russian, the word Sputnik means a traveling companion. I don't know that I would want a traveling companion to be with me as a vaccine. But
Yeah, put the chip in there so they'll always be with you.
oh, you know what? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. But I do know people are experimenting with chips and technology to do that. Which again, if you are trying to do that, I recommend don't until it's like perfected, because I could see people doing that for certain ocular wear, like enhancing their visual cortex and or the brain uh, biology. But I say don't do that for another 15 to 20 years. We're just not there yet. Because, what if it fries your brain? Right? Or somebody has a little, little off switch and you go, you're right. Don't do
Right?
that. Seriously, just don't. Okay, people, I love you. Make it a good day, whatever you're doing. Don't get those implants implanted just yet. Wait another 18 to 20 years. I think we'll be there. Okay, people, love you, appreciate you. Make it a great day. We'll be back tomorrow. Same place, same channel. And have some fun with the family, okay? Bye-bye, everyone. All right. And for the rest of you, it's been a while since I've done a little after show program, but I feel it's kind of necessary just a bit. I'll probably try to commit only to 8 to 10 minutes, if that. In the end of it all, everybody has to remember this. We are at look, how do I put it? We are on the brink of one of two things, right? Maybe more, but I like to minimize it to this. We either keep going and move forward in a smart way, in an effective way, so we don't end up causing destruction for mankind and or for the children and or for people and or for anyone and everyone around the world and then some. In the end of it all, we have to ask ourselves, are we going to keep pushing forward enough to say we're going to coalesce in a really good way so we don't end up destroying ourselves? And what do I mean by that? I hate to give all the theories that are out there, so I'm going to stick to the first couple. Black hole theory. It's a thing. Many people go, it's not a thing. It is a thing. It's causing havoc in the world. Period. End of story. Many people don't want to believe that. Other people say, scientists, theorists, and others say, no, we see certain little rifts opening that shouldn't happen in certain areas. This is actually true and also very true. Secondly, there are other ways that people end up accessing information that are quite debilitating. What I mean by that is, if you end up accessing information on somebody and you, for example, steal their identity, well, now you cause harm not to just that person, but to everybody else in the world, because now you're pretending to be somebody that you're not. How many hackers, how many people end up stealing information and make it as though that is them when it's not? Terrible. Thirdly, if you have people doing that in government and or around the world, what kind of government and or world are you going to end up getting? You're going to end up getting a world and or government which says, oh, we don't know who to trust because we don't know who this person is. We don't know who that person is. We don't know who this person is. Now, obviously, the earth has smart people in government and in office that this doesn't happen. But for, other people that go, well, it does, you got to be careful. You got to see these things for what they are. So in reality, be safe than sorry. I kind of almost need to kind of upgrade that to say, involve humanity at every decision-making process that you make, especially if you're a high top-level official. If you're at the highest of highs of officials, then you especially need to be accountable. But everybody from the ground up need to be able to say, okay, what can we do to make it an effective and safe environment for all? Period. End of story. Because sometimes I talk to those that have no power in the world, right? And then I talk to those that have every power in the world via our show. Sometimes I get interesting messages, online and say, this, that, and the other. I'm not one for spreading false rumors or false truths or half truths. I never like to do that. But if it is a verifiable truth, which has been verified by several different means, then at the end of it all, you have to just say, what are we doing to one another? And at the end of it all, who's the truly evil one? And at the end of it all, do we want to take out the evil one, or we just want to let them kind of run amok? Some people think they have evil in themselves. And I say, if you think it, then you might have some good in yourself. Some people think I'd rather be good than bad, but not all bad rather than good. I say, yeah, I'll take the good and the bad. because bad and good is different to two different people. But when you take evil, and somebody asked me, what truly is evil? Evil is the lack of compassion, lack of humility, and lack of none of that. It doesn't matter. Evil is the one who says, I'm in it for myself at the end of the day. Either by their actions you see it, either by the people they end up hurting and or their families, by killing them off quicker, faster. Look, we have a thing called genocide, right? Genocide is a terrible, terrible situation to ever find yourself in. But how many people have given dictators, rulers, leaders that ability to just cause genocide by all people and say, nope, my race is the best race. Your race is the dumb race. Never made that happen. Okay, people, I agree to disagree every single day on this morning's show, but I will say this. I appreciate you for sticking through it all. I want to say thank you, and we will see you tomorrow on the morning show, provided everything moves forward. So don't kick the off switch in your life, okay? Continue moving forward and love your life. Bye-bye, everyone.